The developers of Arc Raiders have created a system that doesn't just encourage hoarding, it pits your own survival instincts against you. We're going to find out why you are terrified to use your best gun, why you treat your stash of loot like gold, and how Arc Raiders turned us all into loot hoarders. I have a problem. I'm currently staring at a digital deflated football. It has no stats, it has no immediate value, it is, objectively, garbage, and by all logic, I should sell it. But I won't. Why? Because what if I need it? What if a trader in Speranza asks for a football later down the quest line, and I don't have it, and I have to go out of my way to look for it again, which could take ages. This is the loot hoarding problem in Arc Raiders, and at first, I thought, okay, I'm just disorganized. I need to organize my digital life, but then I realized this isn't about being messy. Speaking of getting useless junk that you're not going to use in the future, the sponsor of today's video is no one. I doubt there are companies that want me to tell you that their products are basically just dust collectors, so it's just us. If you do want to help me clear out my mental inventory, hit subscribe. Unlike the stash space counter in Arc Raiders, my primitive brain loves seeing the subscribers counter go up. Now let's talk about your brain and drugs, loot. First, we have to look at the trap itself. The hoarding in Arc Raiders is structural. It's built on two pillars, uncertainty and punishment. This is what we call gear fear. Since death means you lose everything, the value of an item isn't determined by how useful it is. It's determined by how much it hurts to lose it. This is effectively loss aversion. Psychologically, the pain of losing a rare bobcat weapon is twice as powerful as the pleasure of finding it. So, what do? You put it in your stash and save it for a special run. But here's the painful truth. This special run may never happen. At this point, you aren't playing a shooter. You're playing a museum simulator where you curate items you will never use. It's like buying a super expensive car that was built for speed on the roads, and then, because you're worried about it accumulating miles or even scratching it, you instead display it in your mansion, where it never sees the road again. Now combine that fear with information asymmetry. In most games, trash is trash. In Arc Raiders, the supposed trash you find is maybe treasure? Wait, I need humidifiers? I just scrapped 5 of them. Why does a post-apocalyptic raider need a humidifier? Is his skin dry? This is a calculated design choice. By making obscure items requirements for quests or upgrades, the game teaches you a lesson early on. Everything is potentially critical. So you end up in a state of analysis paralysis. You can't recycle the fried motherboard because you might need it for a quest. You can't sell the surveyor vault because you might need it for a project, and surveyors are a pain to hunt. You're fighting the game design as much as you're fighting the Arc machines. But the real kicker is the expedition. Normally, a wipe cures hoarding because, well, you lose everything anyway. It's a clean slate, but Arc Raiders does something different. To get permanent buffs for your next character, you have to donate massive amounts of loot before the wipe. We're talking 250,000 worth of gear across several categories in some cases. So the mechanic that should free you from your hoard actually forces you to hoard harder. You aren't just saving it for yourself anymore, you're saving for your future reincarnation. It's not hoarding, it's a 401k plan, or an ISA if you're from England. Why does this work? Why do we fall for it? Well, it's because of evolutionary mismatch. Your brain is still running software from 50,000 years ago. Back then, resource scarcity was the default. If you found a stash of berries, you kept them and braced yourself because winter was coming and you didn't want to die, Jon Snow. Gathering resources in real life takes energy. In the game, I can pick up about 33 items per run. It triggers the dopamine hit of survival success without the physical cost. We are monkeys pressing a lever that says, "You win," every time we pick up a piece of virtual loot. And maybe it's just me, but don't the containers feel like loot boxes? You open them with an expectation of getting something good, although that's often not the case. Anyway, as soon as that item hits your inventory, your brain goes, this is mine, this is part of me. The item becomes psychologically fused with your raider identity. It's no longer just pixels on a screen, it's an extension of yourself, a trophy of your survival skills. And selling or scrapping it, if it's valuable, almost feels like cutting off a finger. There's a genuine emotional sting, a sense of loss that is disproportionate to the item's actual utility. This is the endowment effect, the phenomenon where ownership inflates the perceived value of the item. Studies show that people demand roughly twice as much to give up an object they own compared to what they'd pay to acquire it. In Ark Raiders, you didn't just find that rare weapon or item, you also go to the extraction, maybe survived the extraction rats and outplayed other raiders, maybe even had a close call with a rocketeer. That narrative of effort and risk gets emotionally encoded into the item. So when you consider using it and potentially losing it, you're not just risking gear, you're risking the story of how you earned it, the proof of your competence. Your brain treats it like a piece of your achievement history, which is why it sits in your stash gathering dust while you run free loadouts instead. So, we're stuck. We have a stash full of loot we're too scared to use, saving up for an apocalypse that has already happened. But maybe that's the point. In a world where you have no control, where an extraction rat can end your run in seconds, the stash is the one thing you can control. It's a security blanket, a wall of garbage we build to feel safe. But I'm telling you right now, use that gun you've got stashed, and use those quick use items. Sell that deflated football and find another one if you must. Because if you do runs while your stash is full, you're not really gaining much from the runs. You're just acquiring more items that will gather dust in your stash, never to see the light of day. I want to know, what is the item you are currently hoarding just in case? Let me know in the comments. I'm currently hoarding bobcats, and I have yet to use one out in the surface. I never said I'm any better. I'm Eurus, and I too have a loot hoarding problem.